The Seattle Seahawks have made a lot of changes to the roster over the last couple of days, and on this edition of Seahawks Today, we'll catch up to speed with everything you need to know on your Seahawks. Let's get started with Kyu Blu Kelly, the rookie corner, fifth-round pick by the Ravens, picked up by Seattle before the season began. He ultimately was released over the weekend, really struggled to get on the field. He ultimately ended up signing with the Green Bay Packers. Meanwhile, Kenny McIntosh activated from IR, much anticipated return. A lot of excitement to see what he'll bring to the table for this Seahawks team, in particular in the passing game as a receiving back. Dareke Young activated from IR as well this week. He's expected to be the Seahawks' number 6 receiver and also have an impact on special teams. Now, the big one of all this here is Kyu Blu Kelly. I know that might catch some people off guard to see a fifth-round pick released like that, but the bottom line is this. He had plenty of opportunities to stand out and to get on the football field, but ultimately he didn't make it happen, and it didn't work out in Baltimore. It didn't work out in Seattle now. This wasn't the Seahawks' fifth-round pick. Remember, this was the Ravens, so you don't feel quite as bad about this. So they took a chance, didn't work out. At the end of the day, you move on, and that's okay. More to come with a lot of roster updates to get to in just a second. Before we do, a quick challenge from the bosses. They don't believe we can get 50 subscribers off today's video. I said, James Yoder, you are wrong. We are going to do it right here, right now. 50 subs, make it happen for daily Seahawks coverage. In fact, we're even bringing you 2 videos today. Earlier, we had our game preview of the Seahawks' upcoming matchup against the LA Rams. When you're done watching this video, go back and watch that video as well for a complete breakdown with the injury report, keys to the game, and more right here on Seahawks Today. Check it out. Jason Peters was elevated from the practice squad for the 3rd time, and the expectation is that he should probably stay on the active roster. He was fantastic on Sunday, if we're going to be frank with you. He looked really good, and obviously we're all waiting the much-anticipated return of Abraham Lucas, but Peters got the job done. You look at these statistics, what he was able to do in 35 pass-blocking snaps. He only allowed 1 pressure, no sacks allowed, and his PFF pass-blocking grade was 80.5. So the 40-some-odd-year-old offensive tackle still has something left in the tank. It was a big day for him and a huge relief for the Seahawks, what he was able to do against a lot of good pass rushers for that Commanders team. Also, some other notes of some moves the Seahawks made. Matthew Gotel was released from the practice squad. And then Brett Rypien was signed to the practice squad. The former standout at Boise State is now on the Seahawks practice squad. And what is significant about this, I like this move for a number of reasons, but think about who the Seahawks are playing this week. The LA Rams. Where did Brett Rypien come from? The LA Rams. So maybe, just maybe, the Rams might have to adjust some signals or something, because in theory, Brett Rypien should know them all and should be able to be a good scout team quarterback this week for what the Seahawks are about to face. Not only is this not a bad move for the practice squad as is, but in preparation for this week to get ready for the Rams, I really like it in that sense of what Rypien knows from that LA Rams system of what they can translate and scout and get ready for this week's game. More on Rypien in just a second, but first, how would you grade the Seahawks roster moves of what they did over the last few days? Not bad, if I'd say so myself. I'd give it about a solid B. What about you? A, B, C, D, or F? Let us know in that comment section what you think of these moves in our pinned comment today. Today's show is brought to you by Prize Picks. Prize Picks is daily fantasy made easy. And with Prize Picks, it's real simple. You choose 2 or more players in any given category, and you get the choice of more or less. Now, I'll be honest, we've been doing pretty good on Prize Picks the last couple of weeks, folks. Whether it was my picks or Smitty's picks, let's keep on making some money, folks. Here's what we're going to do this week. We're going to go with Kenneth Walker to have more than 65.5 rushing yards. Tyler Lockett to have more than 59.5 receiving yards. 58.5 receiving yards, that is. And then Isaiah Pacheco to have less than 59.5 rushing yards for the Chiefs as they face that stinchy Eagles defense. If those hit, say I put $20 down, we're going to walk away with $100 on Prize Picks. Play along on Prize Picks, prizepicks.com/CLNS. Get a $100 deposit match when you use the promo code CLNS. The link is in the comments and the description of today's video, prizepicks.com/CLNS. Now, more on Brett Rypien. What the Seahawks could potentially expect to see from their new practice squad quarterback. As we go towards the second half of 2023, now that we know the Seahawks are in good position, I believe their odds to make the playoffs right now is over 80%. Now you have to start shifting your mindset towards, okay, what do we need potentially in emergency situations? It's like a baseball team when they get their roster ready in September for that postseason push. Now I think the Seahawks might consider that emergency third-string quarterback option potentially, because you don't want to be in a must-win game scenario where, if God forbid, Geno Smith and Drew Lock both went down and you didn't have a solution of some sort. That's where Brett Rypien could potentially come in. And I know some of you really liked Holton Ahlers, but if we're going to be honest, an undrafted free agent out of East Carolina just isn't going to make everybody feel good if an emergency situation were to happen. Brett Rypien has been there before. He's played in about 10 career games in his NFL career, including 4 starts. And this was a guy that was very solid in college. Undrafted out of Boise State, was the Mountain West Conference's Player of the Year in 2018. We mentioned with the Rams, previously with the Broncos before that. So this guy's been around NFL systems and seen how this all works and has some decent experience that I'd much rather, if that situation were to arise, go to him necessarily than some of the other options out there. The numbers aren't earth-shattering of what Brett Rypien's done in his career. So far this season, did actually get a little bit of playing time. 18 of 38, 172 yards, no touchdowns and a pick in 2 games played. Last year with the Denver Broncos, 2 touchdowns, 4 picks, 53 of 88, 483 passing yards. And then back to 2020, 27 of 40, 295 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions. So we'll see if Brett Rypien could potentially have his name called upon. Hopefully not, but you never know. He's at least there in case the Seahawks do need him. So this is not the last of any potential moves we'll see from the Seahawks before the end of 2023. Who's a player the Seahawks should add next? Get in that comment section and give me a name that comes to mind that you'd like to see in a Seahawks uniform before the end of 2023. Now, as the Seahawks gear up for this run to the playoffs, I think Seattle's in a very good spot right now heading into the second half of the year. And as I told you yesterday, yes, the schedule's about to get tougher. No question. Nobody's doubting that at all. But this Seahawks team has not hit their ceiling yet. Their best football is still in front of them. And the way the injury report shakes out, this is manageable. I mean, you compare the Seahawks injury report to most teams in the National Football League right now, you can work through this. And these guys that are listed here, for the most part, when we talk about Kenny McIntosh, who we mentioned earlier, Dareke Young, who we mentioned earlier, those guys are guys that are coming back from IR, as is Abraham Lucas. They're headed in the right direction. Maybe they don't play this week, but we should see them sooner rather than later. So the Seahawks, when it comes to an injury standpoint, are in pretty decent shape. Schedule. Here's what I'm talking about, what's ahead. The Rams game this week. You lost that game earlier this year. You're looking for revenge this week. I do like the Seahawks' chances. San Francisco, short week, but you're at home. Then Dallas after that. Not easy. And then San Francisco again. Realistically, I think you're hoping to split the series with San Fran. Then you take on Philadelphia. Luckily, that game's at home. And then the final 3 games, you should go 3-0. That should be the realistic expectation when you take on Tennessee, Pittsburgh, and Arizona for those final 3. The Seahawks are better than all 3 of those teams, and it's not even close as far as I'm concerned. What will the Seahawks' final record be? That magic number I'm looking for, I'm sleeping good at night heading into January if the Seahawks get to 11 wins. That's the magic number I'm looking at. What do you think? will be the Seahawks' final record? Chime into the comment section. Let me know. For more Seahawks coverage, subscribe to the channel. We have you covered. We got an exciting week ahead. Stay tuned, and we'll see you next time here on Seahawks Today.